thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And, just want to say, thank your leadership for having me. Obviously, Ravi and Arti, really appreciate you guys so much. And, Tess, I know we've been speaking, and obviously there's so many leaders here on this call that I could definitely go through and name, and even thank you so much, Nitin. I know you we were chatting a little bit, but guys, I'll try to get straight to the point and just kind of share what was I had a chance to talk to your leader as far as what we need to do to gear up. So, first things first, Happy New Year's, right? And I hope you guys are excited for this year. And I always like to kind of start off by saying that, whatever happened, first thing, forgive yourself for the things that you didn't do, and forgive yourself for the work that didn't happen. And don't take any of that unnecessary baggage into this year, right? Forgive yourself for the things that you felt like you should have done. And we can all sit back and look at our businesses and say, man, I should be so much further. I should have done more. I should have, put my ducks in a row sooner. Here's the thing. You have today, you have tomorrow, you have everything going forward to kind of reinvent yourself so that the best year yet for you. And that's what it's about. So I want to get into how to become an A player in your uplines team. And this goes to everyone. Doesn't matter if you're new in business today, if you're seasoned, you've been around, every single person can go back and become new again and have that naivety, that newness to you. So first thing I want to tell you is, have you taken the time to start to map out what exactly this year you want to accomplish for yourself? Have you learned from the lessons to set the foundation? And to become an A player, the easiest thing that you have to do, and I always tell people this, people look at the business and they think it's so complex. There's so many moving parts. There's so many things you have to do. But simply, you just got to keep the main thing the main thing. What is the main thing? What are the things that you can control? First thing is you got to control the effort. What is your effort every single day that you put into this? Your effort in communication, your effort in choosing to prioritize the things that are actually going to move you forward, right? Putting in the effort into just slowly working and progressing your skill sets. A lot of times we look at too many things from a position of absolutes. It's either 0 to 100. But why can't you focus on 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, and look at everything as incremental as far as every day I'm just working towards getting to where I want to get to. So that's the thing, effort. Second thing is your attitude. As you start to get started as an A player, do you have the best attitude for whatever happens? And I feel like attitude is so fundamental, and it's important because you start to level up. You start to really strive towards the goals that you have set for yourself. You have to know things are gonna happen to you. You're gonna have setbacks. You're gonna have different obstacles. You're gonna have people not necessarily be on the same bandwagon as you or same bus as you. Are you ready for whatever in store for you? Right? So every single time you start to make the decision, and I look back at my business, you can look at all the leaders here. Every single time you make the decision to move on, guess what happens? Something happens. You're like, I had momentum. Everything was cooking. I was doing everything. Why did my family member have to get sick? Why did I have to have someone that passed away? Why did I have to get into a car accident? Whatever season or whatever you had to go through, it happened to you. Now, but you decide, and this was big. This was really big. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and it said, circumstances does not change responsibilities. And I said, wow, that's powerful. So whatever circumstances that you're going to go through, does your attitude reflect that you're ready for whatever happens, right? You can only control the things that you can't control, but you can't control the things that you can't control, right? You control your attitude. You control not what happens in the world or what happened to you, but you control if you can see it as what's happening for you, right? So look at every single thing that you start to do. So you got effort, you got attitude. Now, here's the biggest thing. You got to start to approach this year, if you're going to start to be the A player, from a position of you taking full ownership of your life and of your business. What does that look like, taking ownership? Well, here's the thing. If God were to plant you and give you a business where you have 20, 30, 40, 50, and eventually you work your way up where you can one day be a Dr. Ravi and Arti, are you ready for carrying the lives of 100, 200, 300, 500 plus people, 1,000 people? Are you ready for that type of business? And the answer is no. That's okay. If the answer is yes, well, I need to come take notes from you because I'm not ready for that yet. I'm working towards it. But the thing you have to start to focus on is ownership is your perspective and your ability to handle what's there, right? So what is ownership looking like? So at your given level, you get started in business, guys. Have you started taking ownership over your life? So let's look at what that looks like. Have you taken ownership over your education? Like, are you on a core habit? Have you finished your 30-day core run? Are you on a 90-day challenge? Have you created successful habits and systems into your life where it's just as easy as you showering, brushing your teeth, and using the bathroom, right? Have you ever took the time to look at brushing your teeth as a habit, right? How many of you on a 2,000-day core run of brushing your teeth, right? Or 5,000. So it's one of those things where you have to look at reading and listening the same way as you brushing your teeth. You don't think of it as like, oh my God, like I got to make a habit to do this today. No, you look at it as like, it's just a part of who I am. It's a part of my identity, right? So have you dominated that? Have you dominated your ability to win in your career, right? Like whatever profession you're in, are you owning your job, right? Because I've always heard from my uplines, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Right? As you start to get your life in check, have you dominated your finances? Right? These are all things that are really pivotal in you becoming successful in the early days, because anything that you have yet to master is you are unfortunately a slave to it. So unless you master your finances, your habits, and you start to take ownership of these things, then you're not capable of leading and working with others where you can help them do the same thing because you haven't done it for yourself. So in the beginning, a lot of times what happens is the business isn't what mess people up. It's their life. It's them not being able to maintain or being able to effectively collaborate and marry the business and their life together because they're trying to do too many things. So first thing you have to do is you got to simplify your life. You simplify your life by making everything the least resistance that you would have to go through. So if you're younger, if you're a student, can you be on good terms with your parents? That's a big one. A lot of times people try to go against the grain. They say, you know what? My parents just don't understand. They don't want me to do this. They don't want me to do that. Have you actually ever took some time to think that your parents actually want to see you succeed and want the best for you and they want to see you win, but you have to take ownership over certain things that they're expecting of you? The reason why there's frustrations in any relationship that you go through is because there's someone's expectation of you isn't aligning with what you're doing. So you got to make sure those things are in check, right? So your goal is to make your life so streamlined, so simple, where it's easy to start to put the business together. Now, here's the biggest thing as far as being an A player. Those are a lot of the fundamentals. Now, getting into the mentality of an A player as far as in the business and growing, first thing I have to tell you is you got to take initiative. Initiative is everything. So there's a lot of people on our team that is really cranking the business right now. And the clear differentiator between them and a lot of other people is that they're taking initiative left and right. How do you take initiative? First thing is, do you call and check in? So let's say you get started in business. You don't have anyone yet. You're a brand new person getting started in this opportunity. What are some things you can do to take initiative? First thing is, how often are you in communication with your upline? Do they call you or do you call them? Is it your business or is it their business? I've always heard when you call your upline, it's your business. When your upline calls you, it's their business. So have you taken ownership of your business by calling your upline every single day? Do you have a ferocious communication with your upline, right? Second thing is initiative. are you proactive as far as doing different things to add value or contribute to the culture of the team that is already there, right? Are you excited? Are you positive? Do you show up early? Right? Are you asking how can you help and be a servant, right? Start to develop some servant leadership, right? There's a TE that happened today. Can you ask, hey, can I get up early? Can I be on the tech team? Right? You have different team local events. Can you come and do different things to serve? Those are all things you can do to start to take initiative, right? This is in the beginning days. Initiative as far as you fighting to contribute to your upline's goals, right? You get started. The biggest leaders or the biggest contributors to their upline success. So if you're a brand new person, your upline's fighting for 300, 600, 1,000 PV. Have you set upline? What is your goal for this month? How can I contribute? What do you need from me? And have you made it a goal that you're going to fight to contribute whatever they're expecting of you? Hey, upline, I'm going to be 150 PV. I'm going to be 300 PV. You're going to go out and get customers. You're going to go out and start to do meetings, right? Have you proactively pursued your upline? Here's what happens a lot of times. People go through this, they get started, they read all the books, they pursue, and they're like a dog on a bone. They're hungry. And then they go to sleep. And it's like, what happened? You're fired up. It's like excess was oozing out of you, and you didn't even have excess. And then you get excess, and now you're asleep. It's like, what happened? I'm confused there, right? So you get in this, and initiative is you being in the pursuit of your upline, right? So that's if you're a new guy. Now, if you have a team, what does it look like to take initiative as an upline? First thing you got to start to do is, do you talk to your upline, or do you wait for your upline to talk to your downline, right? Do you know what's going on in their life? Have you truly developed a friendship with the people in your team? I've always heard friendships is what equals platinum ships. You can't go platinum if you don't have a friendship. People can't buy into you if you don't have a friendship that's there. So you got to go in and you got to serve your team. You got to be there for them. You got to show them that you care about them. And as you start to do that, you now take your downline and now you rally it between your upline and your downline, and you become the connector. And that's what starts to create a buzzing organization. And the last thing, which is probably the most significant, the thing that's going to really revolutionize your business, is you got to start to have a work habit. How do you start to have a work habit? Every day, are you on a 90-day challenge? Are you going out there getting your masawa? Are you shaking a couple of hands? Are you making connections? Are you out there and showing what it looks like to be in the trenches? A lot of times what happens to a lot of people is they get in a position where they want to be an A player, and all of a sudden they start to delegate the A player to their downline because they start to rest on their laurels. And this is for people who might have got to 600,000, 1,500, 2,500. And I got, if we do a leadership, I got something for your 4,000 to 6,000. So I'm gonna wait for you guys. But the 2,500s, 1,500s, you get to a position where you feel like you've accomplished a certain level of success, and now you start to try to become a teacher. Here's the thing. From 0 to platinum and beyond, the best way you teach is through your example. You got to go out there and you got to dominate. How do you dominate? Is you're the best example in all areas. You're the best example when it comes to PV, or you double core every single month. You know what double core is? Is 300 PV. The standard is 150 PV. Double that is 300 PV, right? So first, everyone here, new, old, seasoned, unseasoned, 300 PV, right? Can you get to 300 PV every single day? Say upline, done deal, 300 PV every single month, because I'm committed and I want to be an A player on your team, and I don't want to do the bare minimum. I want to do the maximum. I want to be 300 every month. Go create some customers. You have a business. Go find solutions, right? Go do whatever it takes to elevate. Now, going back to the work habit, what does the work habit look like? You're out there every single day. You're shaking hands. You're having connections. You're making contacts on the regular. You're fighting to do meeting groups. You're qualifying for the LQ calls. Guys, this LQ call this past week, listen, if you miss this LQ call, I literally want to sit there. I want to turn my camera off and I want to go cry. I feel bad for you not being on it. That LQ call was everything. Ganesh put an LQ call, leadership qualifier, LQ. You're like, what is LQ? Leadership qualifier. The 6 MG1s every month. Ganesh puts together your leadership, right? Ravi and Arti puts it together. Those calls, you need to be on there every single day. I mean, every single month. If you're not there, what is the probability of your team being there? And it's not going to happen. So everything you want to see your team do, are you doing it? Right? So start to qualify with meet and greets. Now, what starts to happen? You start getting contacts. You start doing some meet and greets. And by default, you start launching some legs. Right? There's a lot of people, in my uplines team, they got started and they launched 15 legs in 2023. Brand new people, first year in the business, year and a half. Right? So a lot of times people look at certain things and they say, well, I will be able to be more proficient when I have the skill set. And that's true. But I'd rather take someone who's willing to fail, put the effort, not afraid to make mistakes, and just go out there with not pure excitement and conviction over somebody who is experienced and they analyze everything and they don't do a lot. So what's the separation here is you got to be convicted and excited about what you have your hands on here. And I find that the more you start to get into the creative phase and you stay there, the faster that you'll be able to start to create a rhythm, and now you can start to succeed. Now, what caps a lot of people from being able to do the work is a couple of things. And this is why I'm going to be a little bit more real with you guys. The reason why a lot of people they're not A players, they're not doing what they need to do, they're not consistent, is the first thing is a lot of people are very lazy. You're very lazy. A lot of people, if you have really good high-paying jobs, you're too comfortable. You're too comfortable. You got everything you want. The business, you don't really need the business, right? So there's not really a sense of urgency. You got to find a way to develop a sense of urgency. Here's the other thing. You lack priorities. You don't know what's important, and you don't make the thing that should be a priority the priority. Right? Every single day, do you prioritize making a contact? Do you prioritize doing a meet and greet? Right? So those are 3 big things that I see. They either lazy, they don't prioritize, or they're very comfortable. So you got to figure out a way to get over those things, right? Because if you don't do that, if you're not aggressive in your work habit, the default is going to be stagnation. If you don't grow and start to get in creative phase, by default, you will create stagnation because you're the lid and the group is always determined by the speed of the leader. So new or old, leadership is always there. It will always cap you. So you got to go back and do all the things that you've done, or watch an upline who's in the zone. So how do you start to do that? Here's a couple of things I'll recommend as you start to reinvent yourself to be the A player that you need. So now you can go BFI, you can go BBI, you can go get all these bonuses that all the platinums gave up for you. And we at least want our teams to get it, right? So please go get these bonuses and not leave for the rest of Amway to go get them. There's too much money on the table. So what do you need to start to do? First thing is everyone here needs to be on a 90-day challenge. 90-day challenge. Do you read, listen, right? Every single day, right? Go get a Masawa. Eventually elevate your own standard. Go get a contact. What are the things you need to do to make sure you stay steady? You need to start to go and re-earn everything. How do you re-earn everything? I've talked about this many times. Go earn your dinner. Go earn your shower. Go earn your bed. Go earn your house. Right? If you guys leave your home to go to work, you are not allowed to go home till you go have a certain number of conversations. You may have the keys to get in, but access denied if you don't go get what you need. Right? So that's what you have to go do. Go earn different things. Go make yourself a little uncomfortable. And the reason why you have to do that is because who here loves to go to work, wake up and, get in traffic, sit there, well, wow, like I just love my job. Things are amazing. Things are great. I could do this for the next 60 years of my life. Who loves that? Who just like, they wake up every day so excited to go do that? Probably most of us are not. But why do we go? Why do we go? We go because the fear of the consequences of not going versus us not wanting to go is greater than how we feel. The consequences is greater than our feelings. In your business, do you have the same dynamic? Do you have the same dynamic in your business? If you don't, you got to recreate that. You yourself got to be the boss to your own enterprise, and you got to do what you need to do necessary that's going to get you to that same mentality. So create an artificial consequence. What's the consequence? Here's a good one. If you don't get your contact, go take a cold shower. Tell me how those cold showers are every day if you don't get contact. It's cold outside. For a lot of you guys who are living a hot season, God bless you. You're in a better situation, right? If you don't get a contact, you don't have a certain number of genuine conversations, you can't eat, right? All these things that you got to start to do. But here's the thing. It's worth it. It's worth you going and delaying certain things so you can go earn it. So some people are motivated by their goals and their why and their dream. And like, yeah, some people are just like, yeah, that's good. That sounds, but you being uncomfortable hits a little different, right? So those are two things that you can start to do. Other thing you can do is you can start to create a time budget for yourself, right? In our work, we have work hours. We go to work 8 to 5 or 9 to 6. And why don't we just sleep during those hours? Well, it's because they're work hours. We literally got to be there. But do you have business hours? Do you have set business hours where it's non-negotiable? Like, have you ever gone to work and took your laundry and said, hey, I got to do laundry while I'm here? Like I gotta, hang up the clothes, gotta do laundry. Have you ever took your pots and pans and start cooking during your work hours? And it's like, I gotta eat, I gotta make food. Have you took your kids to work? Hey, my kids gotta be here, they gotta go do something. But if you don't do that for your job, but why won't you do that for your own business? Your own set business hours. That's what you have to do. How can your mentality be more loyal to somebody else and someone else's job versus your own free enterprise? How could you value or give up your time of freedom for someone else's time of them having you to be there? So you got to start to reinvent and think differently about these things. So you got to have set time budgets. Every hour, do you have something accounted for? So when I get off work, there's two things. If I have 0 meetings, I do not go home. I'm not going home. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go get me some contacts. I'm gonna go see some downlines. I'm gonna go shake some hands because those are my set business hours and those are non-negotiable. So those are different things that you guys can start to do as you start to become an A player in your uplines team. And just to kind of wrap up here is what I can say is you got to get to a position where you make everything systematic, where you take the thinking out of it. A lot of times we make a lot of our decisions from an emotional state. But if you could have everything where it's mapped out, where it's set out for you, and all you do is follow the schedule, that's why it's so important. And you see a lot of successful individuals, they have their own personal assistants, right? They have things mapped out. And all they do is say, hey, you got to be here at this time. Hey, you got to go do this. You kind of have to create that for yourself. So if I can encourage anything, you want to live and die by your calendar. And every single hour, you should have it mapped out. Just like how you have your money, right? If you've done your budget and you did like total money makeover, and you have that zero-based budget. Do you have a zero-based hourly budget? Every hour is allocated somewhere. Every single thing you do throughout your day, it's already penciled in. And all you do is just look at your schedule for the day, and that's what you follow. And then it doesn't matter if you feel like doing something or not. It's in the schedule. You do whatever is in the schedule, and it creates the randomness out of your life. For me, a lot of times I did a lot of things from a position of randomness. It was more like, okay, maybe I feel like doing this right now. Maybe I just, I don't feel like, doing this. But I was like, you know what? Every day I have a set agenda, I have a set schedule, and this is exactly what I'm going to do regardless of how I feel about it, because I do that for work. So I took that work mentality and just incorporated it into my business. And that's exactly what started happening for me. And the last thing is you got to be very mindful of the things that you say to yourself. So you want to speak and own the things that you want to see in your life. So don't speak, oh, this is so hard today, or I don't feel like doing this. Speak everything as you want to see it. Man, I'm fired up to go out after work. I'm fired up to go make some conversations. Every single person I'm looking to talk to is looking to get into my business. They're all looking to do more. They're all looking for opportunity. Every time I'm out, it's a great time. I'm so excited. I'm fired up. And so those are things you really have to work on, because the more you start to tell yourself lies, those lies eventually become truths because you told yourself that enough. So you got to be very mindful that everything you want to see, you work towards. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you are in business. It doesn't matter how long you've been, no matter what you've seen, what you've gone through. If you fell back, that doesn't matter. We all are in the position of life and business for a reason. And it's up to you if you want to change where you are. And the only thing you got to do is you got to put more effort in. This business is effort sustained over time is success. The people who put the most effort over and over and over and over. Here's the thing. Effort does not equal results. Effort equals effort. And through enough effort, you eventually get results. Just like in anything we've ever done, we don't ever become good at anything by accident. We become good at things because we put effort, and that effort eventually become intentional. That's all it is. The business is effort and intention, and whatever you focus on is what grows. So make sure that you're not out here chasing too many things. Make sure that you're not double-minded and doing all these other crazy stuff, right? Because if you can focus on this business, if you can focus on 3-6, if you can focus on 6-15, I've always told people this, everything in your life that you've ever wanted, you got it. There's not one person who ever wanted something so bad and did not get it. Just think about it. Take some time to think about it. There's never anything you've ever gone through where there's something you wanted so bad, like maybe a master's, maybe a bachelor's, maybe a person, maybe some shoes, maybe some clothing. As kids, we're like beasts in this area. Like we're like, mommy and daddy, I really, really want this. And some way, somehow they get it. But you got to go back and just have that naivety and just know that if you believe something hard enough, you can absolutely have it. So just don't ever lose the belief. Don't ever talk yourself out of anything, and just really focus on what you want to do, and you will set the best foundation. You will be amazed at how much you grow and what you're able to start to accomplish for yourself. And with that, guys, I know that's a lot of information, and I hope all that makes sense. And again, I want to give a huge shout out to you guys as leaders. I'm privileged and so honored to be here, and I hope everything made sense. And with that, I'd love to go ahead and pass it back over to your host.
For the calendar year 2024, the average income from Amway for all U.S. registered IBOs at the Founders Platinum level and below was $723 before expenses. See www.amway.com/income-disclosure for details and the most up-to-date information.